Hey there, Riverica here, reporting for duty on a trigger. Thank you so much for shuffling states of emergency into adoption spirit magic with me and steering clear of danger. Heartily, we are grateful. In this session, we are exploring how we may surrender. Yes, that's correct. But before that, some disclaimers. I am not a doctor, lawyer, therapist. I'm a fortune teller. So what I offer is no substitute for their services. Furthermore, what I share does not determine your future. Only your intentions and actions do. So please use your gift of discernment before deciding what to gather and take away. And of course, take only what resonates and blow like a kiss the rest to the universe for cosmic composting back into beauty. And this reading is intended for fun and games, for shits and giggles, for entertainment, for flexing your heart, mind, body, soul, spirit, and intuition, as well as mine. And at the most, I hope to help you on your healing path, and at the least, I hope to cause harm to none. So those disclosures out of the way, let me introduce our helpers. I have lit candles for Source, Mother Earth, Father Sky, the homeless, those that kick them out of their homes, the neighbors, the passers-by, even those working against our spiritual progression. Harmony, unity, and balance, Archangel Gabriel, our ancestors here in the highest love and light, and those who have crossed over to Father Sky by suicide, and the family and friends they left behind on Mother Earth, as well as the war-torn families, nations, galaxies. And we thank Source for helping us all adopt success, transmuting these violent cycles into love. Heartily, we are grateful. We also have my mini crystal ball, my Tibetan bell to help clear the space, the wooden wand and the wooden dagger wand to help us cut to the heart of the matter without harming a soul, as well as helping us buoy our spirits. And you may notice on the dagger I have painted the word Anglo, which means to embrace in Romani gypsy tongue, helping us embrace the love that is, to assist us in surrendering. And we also have the Living Altar, an Oracle and Spell deck for the Radical Witch by Kiki Robinson and Elvadroma Marzana Radzasuski. And we have this beautiful amethyst. And I invite you to check out on your own the properties for amethyst, or the wood, or the wand, or the dagger, or the crystal ball, or the bell. Checking out 5 or 6 or 7 different resources to see what resonates with you, because we're all different psychosocial science experiments, and what resonates with you may be different than me. And so I enjoy inviting you to check out for yourself to see what's feeling resonant with you. And this purple amethyst is a beautiful healing stone, helping us transmute the violent cycles into love. And I enjoy and appreciate Archangel Michael to help during those times, to add an extra layer of protection with his blue flame. And the white light of Source, that ultimate infinite intelligence, to add another layer of protection to help transmute those violent cycles into love. And you may be interested in checking out the Violet Flame to hear more about that, to learn more about that. So before we jump in to this reading about surrender, let's ring the bell and clear the space. And I invite you to hold the intention of love, and only love you shall see. And of course, adjust yourself to keep your ears safe as I ring this bell. And here we go. Mind, body, speech, in perfect oneness, I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. May hearers awaken from forgetfulness and transcend all anxiety and sorrow. Om. Peace. Shanti. Thank you. So surrender. How to surrender. You know, there's these situations in our life that we have no control of, and we have decided we're tired of getting mad and running forward, marching forward in that anger, which is really sadness at its core, and we're tired of fighting it, and we just understand now in this part of our healing journey, we understand that it's time to surrender, to give it up. To give it up to the infinite intelligence to work out. But you know, that's easier said than done, right? Because we really want to do the work. We really want to make it happen. We think we're so powerful that we can do it all ourselves. But sometimes we just can't. We have to give it up to the universe. Like those instances for orphans and adoptees where we don't have control over the families in our life. Like some of you may have heard information going on in the adoptee rings with adoptees speaking out about their adoptive families and in their own ways inviting some more understanding about everything that's involved with adoption, from how to adopt somebody who's of a different race, to a different nationality, to, you know, the simple fact they're from a whole nother family, and to have some sensitivity with that, and to join the adoptee and working through loss issues instead of just thinking that adopting a human being will heal your loss issues. It doesn't work that way. And so in these situations that are still so much about the parents involved, the birth parents and the adoptive parents instead of the orphan and adoptee, it requires so many orphans and adoptees to just surrender. Like they can't change their parents' minds. Their adoptive parents, their adopted parents are not in a place where they are able to accept what the adoptee is saying about how the situation could be different. Could we please change the social contract so I'm not acting as your prescription to overcome your loss, so I can have my own identity and do my own thing and live my life instead of just being here to help you feel better. What's another word besides better? Overcome your loss. You know, those situations where you just, God, you wish, because you know, you have love in your heart for these people, and you know they have love in their heart for you, even though they're unable to step up and renegotiate the contract and make it equitable and fair. And you find yourself in a position where you have to surrender and just walk away and cut ties. And all the different ways that plays out. It's not just the orphan and adoptee that experience this kind of dilemma, and there's all sorts of different ways that this plays out. This is just one way the situation plays out, where you may find yourself in need of surrendering. Like you can't think about it anymore. You can't try anymore. It's not happening. And so you want to surrender it to the infinite intelligence of the universe so you can move on and your new life and rebuilding a new earth in a more equitable, fair, safe, and sound way. And so how do you do that? So we thank your source and spirit guides, angels, galaxy guides, ancestors, saints and sages, gods and goddesses, universe is here for the highest love and light as well as mine. And we thank your source and my source for immediately shifting the situation into what it needs to be, offering necessary insights, healings, acts of grace, and protection. Heartily, we are grateful. And so it was. So it was. So it was. And so it was. Thank you for guiding this reading in the highest love and light about what may assist us in surrendering. And we have spring. That's super sweet. Spring. Especially as it's that time of year, isn't it? That's so funny. I love that source. Thank you so much. So beautiful. I see the pink, which is reminding me of the Anahata chakra, the heart chakra, and the triangle representing that transformation. And you know, the Anahata chakra, the heart chakra, has a symbol of a star with a triangle pointing up and then a triangle pointing down, indicating that with each situation that happens, we can either choose to feel optimistic and sunny or the opposite of that. It's our choice. It's our free will, even though sometimes it doesn't feel like we have a choice because we're so bound by loss and trauma. It hurts so much that it feels like we don't even have a choice. But it's there. It's there. And that gray, I really appreciate that gray. Just toning, giving some different tone to this. And it looks like, is that a, I can't tell, is it a bird or is it a snake? And butterflies. And it looks like we have some yarn here and some plant symbology. All the different ways that spring plays out. I apologize. So I'm still learning how to negotiate my camera equipment and my light. So thank you for being so patient with me. So spring. Oh yes, it looks like there's some red thread in there as well. Reminding me of the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra that grounds us into this earth. Like, we really want to be here. We do. Even though there's this loss and trauma that hurts like a mofo, we still want to be here because we see the joy and the beauty and the love. And we can sidestep the danger most of the time, God willing, however you call God. And springing forward. It's funny, we just changed our clocks, some of us as well. So this living altar offers 3 sections to consider with each card: the witch's wheel correspondence, the spell, and guiding messages. So I invite you to check out the witch's wheel, maybe check out 5 or 6 or 7 different witch's wheel and create your own, and maybe that's going to add depth to this reading and future readings. And then the spell, you might find yourself rewinding this session to listen to the spell 4 or 5 or 6, 7 more times and say it with me, so as to help you integrate that spell and activate that spell. And then there's the guiding messages. So you may find yourself wanting to pull out your journal and journal about this in your own space and time without anybody breathing down your neck, so you can explore more your inner workings and figure out how you may surrender with ease and grace and wisdom. Okay. So, spring. The witch's wheel correspondence has about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 words. Air, east, rebirth, childhood, emergence, promise, sunrise, crescent moon, first quarter moon, identity, inspiration, creation, and ancestor. How beautiful. Even just reading those words, I was feeling a lift and a release, like just giving it up, like that air. The air represents intellect as well as so much more, but it floats like a feather on the wind, and to be able to just surrender it, like those really complicated, heart-wrenching situations, to just be able to toss it up in the air, proverbially, and let source take it on and transmute it. And then that rebirth and childhood also brought some light energy to help with that surrender, some playful energy. I mean, I guess birth isn't so playful, right? Those of you who have given birth, maybe childhood is more playful. Emergence, promise, sunrise, other uplifting words. And then identity, it's reminding me that's one of the 7 adoption cards we all get handed. Every human, not just the orphan, not just the adoptee. Anybody who's had loss or trauma gets these 7 adoption cards, and identity is one of them. The other 6 are intimacy, rejection, guilt and shame, mastery and control, loss, and grief. I think that was all 7. Loss, grief, mastery and control, guilt and shame, rejection, intimacy, identity. Yeah. And those are 2-faced cards. There's another side to those cards. So that's another piece you may choose to play with or may enjoy playing with. So that was the Witch's Wheel correspondence to help us with surrender. And here's the spell. I bow to the urgency of resilience. I cultivate my courage by whatever means necessary. I emerge willing to examine my expectations. I yield to what is becoming, knowing I will not break. I know the pressure to become is the momentum of faith. And I shall read that one more time. I bow to the urgency of resilience. I cultivate my courage by whatever means necessary. I emerge willing to examine my expectations. I yield to what is becoming, knowing I will not break. I know the pressure to become is the momentum of faith. That's intense. That's intense, especially when we're talking about surrender and the resilience that's inherent in that surrender, and knowing that you won't break. You're not going to break. You're still here. You're still doing it. I'm giving you a big hug right now. You've been through so much. What a beautiful spell. I'm just looking at it one more time. It's just intense. So now the guiding messages. There's, looks like 5 or 6 questions. What is lying dormant, asking to emerge? Spend time reflecting on your relationship with spring. Where are you now in relationship to last spring? How have you grown? What have you experienced? Where would you like to see yourself come next spring? How will you begin? So these are beautiful questions to contemplate in this shadow of surrendering, in the aftermath of surrendering. So you give up that situation that has confounded you and broken your heart, but you're still here. You're really not broken. What do you do after you give that up? And so these are some ways that you may channel a new energy, a new reality, streaming in grace to replace, what you are surrendering. You're giving up the one thing and you're streaming in grace to replace. And those are some beautiful questions to consider to help you flesh that out and envision what's coming, your reward for doing the work that you've done. And everything that goes with spring, you know, the seasons, they're so interesting in helping us relate to situations such as having to surrender something. Like in the fall, the deciduous trees surrender their leaves, but in the spring they get them back again. So things like that. And so you may find yourself leaning into that nature and taking some lessons from nature to help you with this process as well. And knowing that you are transforming, like the nature, like the butterfly, like the tree, you are transforming, and the universe supports you in that, and Mother Nature supports you in that, and Father Sky supports you in that, and they know what you've been through, and they love you so much, and everything is working out for your highest love and light, even if sometimes it seems the opposite. You can lean in to your spirit team and into spring. That is all I see for you in this reading, in this session. Thank you so much for helping me breathe life into adoption spirit magic. Heartily, we are grateful. Until next time, ciao for now. I love you all.